Nice guys. The truth is, you enjoy victimhood. You enjoy putting the blame on other people for your circumstances. And don't worry, before you get defensive, I've been there. I've been this nice guy who was also in a state of victimhood. I blamed my parents, my girlfriend, my work for why my life wasn't where I wanted it to be. Today I'm going to share with you a quick guide on how we can reclaim our personal power and move beyond being a victim, move beyond being a nice guy. So, why should you listen to me? I was, as I said, this nice guy. I experienced a lot of this and I've worked through a lot of these problems. The victim mentality was one of the first things I had to change in myself to start developing and growing as a person. I've also run men's groups in the UK and in Vietnam for the past 4 years. So I've spoken to hundreds of men who've maybe had some of these challenges. And this is my perspective on how you can make this change in your life to reclaim your own power. So the problem of being a nice guy. When you're a nice guy, I know how it is. You ignore your own needs. Maybe it's something like you want a relationship and you just hang around that girl hoping she makes a move. I don't like how I'm being treated at work. Maybe I'm going to be passive aggressive, not be direct in giving feedback, or just shut down. Maybe around that person, you just completely close down, you can't even speak. And maybe you have a situation where you want respect. I'll try and earn it by being a good boy, by being useful to everyone. These are 3 situations actually that I've experienced in my life and things I've overcome. The truth is, as a nice guy, you ignore, you push down, or change your needs. And essentially you hope things will turn out how you want them to. You hope that just by chance and luck, that you're gonna get what you need. The problem is by doing this, you have 0 personal power. You as a man become completely dependent on the world, other people, bringing you what you need. And it's pretty natural that as a result, you develop this identity of being a victim because things only happen to you. Nothing comes from within you. You have no sense of control and personal power in your life. And I get it. Maybe this message is somewhat triggering for you. I get you didn't choose this. A lot of nice guys were bullied, learnt to avoid conflict. Our parents rewarded us for being good boys who pleased them. We were taught at school and in society that rejection is something to be avoided. It's pretty natural that being a nice guy is our way of coping with the world, how we were brought up, maybe not having the right role models around you. But here's the thing, it's not an excuse now. Whatever's happened in your past, I know it may have been hard. It was for me. We all have these difficulties, but it's not an excuse now. We always have the ability to reclaim power of our lives. The truth is, the victim mentality, feeling like this where you blame external situations, people, society for your problems, when we're in this state, it's one of the most painful states to be in because I've experienced it multiple times. My experience of it was with my ex-girlfriend. I blamed all my problems in my life, my lack of purpose, lack of direction, lack of discipline and consistency and meaningful friendships. All of it was placed on this relationship holding me back. The issue is we take 0 responsibility for our role in keeping problems alive. Many of these things may have been out of our control initially, but we continue to blame external circumstances for our situation now, when we have power over our situation now to change what we're experiencing. And probably the worst part and part of why we keep alive this victim mentality is because you actually enjoy it. This feeling that people empathize with you, that the whole world is against you. You feel validated in being a victim. And if you're anything like me, the reaction I would have to people if they tried to give me feedback, I remember my mum saying to me, "Are you sure this is the right relationship to be in?" And I would shut her down because I was a victim. This was happening to me and I didn't take responsibility for that. And part of why we enjoy this is you get this validation, you get this feeling of being a martyr, which can be somewhat satisfying, even though it's also quite toxic, without needing to do anything hard to change your life. And you don't have to face true discomfort when you're a victim, because all these things happen to you, they're not your fault. So it makes it very easy to just go about your life, point the finger at other people, and never have to face discomfort, the discomfort of becoming yourself, of showing your weaknesses, of facing rejection. There's only one real solution, and that is taking responsibility. If you've been a victim up until now in all areas of your life, you have never experienced real freedom, true freedom. When you get to own everything that has happened to you, the good, the bad, the things that were your fault, and the things that were completely out of control, and truly owning the impact that being a victim has and how it keeps you stuck, your life will change beyond recognition. You have to trust me on that. If you're in the state of victim mentality, this hell on earth, you have to have some faith that when you start to take responsibility, your experience of life is completely incomparable. I actually had it recently where I had a small episode of this victim mentality coming back, and it was an awful experience. I had the worst week I've had in ages because I was trapped in this mindset of blaming other people. When you start to take responsibility, this is where we experience true freedom. We begin to take control and have influence and power over our lives. And for me, it was life-changing. When I took responsibility for that relationship making me unhappy, it was like a domino effect. I then took responsibility for where I was being dishonest, where I didn't have true friendships, and that's part of the reasons I set up the men's group as a result. Taking responsibility is the best thing you will ever do, and it will change your life, because once you start taking responsibility and do it more and more and more, your life becomes yours again. You stop worrying about the people who are holding you back, and you become more honest. You take authentic action, and your life will completely transform. Here's my 5-step formula for you to escape victimhood and reclaim your personal power. So this is like a code, something you can look to. And maybe you're doing this on a weekly basis. A formula, a process to reclaim responsibility. The first is a journaling prompt. Where am I putting responsibility on others? And something you can do here is you can write down all the resentments you can have. All the resentments, all the things you're blaming other people, the resentments you have towards other people will be a good indicator of where you're blaming other people, blaming work, blaming your girlfriend, whatever it is. That's the first thing you can do, a journaling prompt. The second part is control. I want you to, one time this week, when you want to say no without over-explaining. Maybe give a simple reason. As a nice guy, as someone who's a victim, we often struggle to say no. We just go with the flow. Maybe we get invited to something and we really don't want to go, but we just say yes because we want to be easy. We don't want to cause a problem. So my challenge to you is just say no without a need to over-explain. Give just maybe a short reason, or if you really want to challenge yourself, just say no. The third step is restraint. One day this week, spend off your phone. Social media drags our attention in all different directions, and it takes away a lot of our personal power when we're controlled by this small device in our hands. If you can't do one day realistically, try 1 hour in the morning and develop this restraint. Bring back some of this power into your hands. The third is focus. 1 day of no validation seeking. So maybe an example is at work, you're the jester, the joker. Your whole personality is based on seeking validation around other people. Just give yourself 1 day. If you can't do 1 day, do 1 hour of no validation seeking, where you're just yourself. You're not looking for anything from other people. And the fifth one is discomfort. What's one uncomfortable conversation you have been putting off in your life? I want you to have that conversation. I want you to go ahead with it. The whole idea here is understanding we have power in our lives. We have control. We can change what we're doing and we can bring the power back to us. With victimhood, the biggest problem is we put the blame on everything else. If you take these 5 steps, you will begin to see that you can control things, you have influence. And I would add a caveat as well. I don't believe I can control everything in the world, but I do believe I can control my responses. I can believe I control how I react to situations. So that's a useful caveat, but this is about bringing the power back to yourself, getting away from the hell that is victimhood, where you're blaming other people. Is an awful state to be in, and you can't really change your life if you are in this constant state of victimhood. So these are the things I would try. I wish you well on your journey. This video is said and created with love from a position of someone who's been a nice guy and recognised how much it cost me, the pain of being a victim. So I hope this video helps. Please share this with a brother who needs to hear this message, and I will see you on the next one.